Treehouse of Horror 29 is the fourth episode of the 30th season of The Simpsons, directed by Matthew Faughnan, and I didn't care for it. And occasionally there are Treehouse of Horrors that I don't like and other people love. There are some that I love and other people don't rate quite so highly, but it seems the majority are in agreement. It's got 6.0 out of 10 on IMDb across 1.2 thousand reviews and ratings. For a Treehouse of Horror, even for any episode of The Simpsons at this stage, that's pretty terrible, so I'm glad I'm not alone. All of it is boring. One of the stories was really well animated. I think visually it was quite engaging, but the story wasn't. And I felt all of this felt really flat, and one of them I actually feel was maybe a little bit questionable as well. So as always, I will go through the three segments at the beginning and share some thoughts, so there will probably be some spoilers from this point on. And it starts off with Homer having an eating competition with Cthulhu, which was fine. It's not my favourite introduction. It wasn't that engaging, but I didn't hate it. It's okay. Then we have Intrusion of the Potty Switchers, where everybody is so engrossed in their phones that they don't see things going on around them, and they turn into plants, kind of. Some of the plants looked a little bit interesting, but not enough for me to say this was an interesting segment. And it was just boring. It was so boring. Yes, there's a little bit of commentary here about how people shouldn't be so glued to their phones because look what could happen. Take your eyes away from your screen. But it wasn't an engaging story, so I don't think the message will get through. The second segment is Multiplisa-ty, which is not the easiest to say, and it's apparently meant to be a parody of Split, and we have Lisa with dissociative identity disorder. Honestly, I feel like it's not enough of a parody of Split to think that her character is parodying that character, James McAvoy's character. I just feel like it's making fun of people with DID. Now, I don't think that's what they were intentionally setting out to do, but I feel like it's not enough of a parody that you can say, no, it's making a mockery of that character and drawing on, things from that to create humour. I feel like it was just doing it against DID. Now, I don't normally take offence. I mean, I'm not offended by it as such. I have no experience of DID, so I guess I couldn't really be offended, but I don't really find The Simpsons offensive at all, ever, even when they do Scottish jokes. I don't care. Go for it. Do your worst. But I do think when it comes to something as potentially debilitating as dissociative identity disorder, because I know it can be really difficult, especially without the right treatment, to live a quality life without the right support, it can be horrific to experience, apparently. And for them to basically make a mockery of it, I don't know. I feel like, as I said, I don't normally find anything The Simpsons does offensive. They could do their worst, and I generally don't care. But this one, I feel like just maybe was a step too far. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I just feel like it was unexpected how they treated the character. And yeah, they can turn around and say, well, we're just parodying Split. It's got nothing to do with any real people. Fair enough, but I personally just think maybe they crossed a line. And I never think that about The Simpsons. I don't care most of the time. But I don't know, maybe it's because I've got a strong passion for, mental health support, and it's something I feel very strongly about. Let me know what you think, but personally, it wasn't even that interesting either. The only interesting bit, and as I said, spoilers, is when Milhouse spat out the perfume sample. That's about as interesting as it got. So I didn't like it. And then we had Geriatric Park, obviously a parody of Jurassic Park, when Mr. Burns is rounding up all of the old people, creating this new fantastic retirement home, and they turn into dinosaurs. This is the one that I thought looked great. Visually, the design... I was going to say the dinosaurs. The design of the dinosaurs is brilliant. I think just the environment was very well animated. Visually, I found it to be very engaging. The narrative, not so much. I feel like the novelty wore thin very, very quickly. And what happened wasn't that interesting. There was a sweet moment between Lisa and Grandpa, but beyond that, it was just a little bit dull. So, needless to say, Treehouse of Horror 29 is pretty terrible. Thankfully, whenever we have a bad Treehouse of Horror, usually the next one is pretty good, so let's hope that that's the case. But honestly, I think I might skip it. If I'm watching season 30 again, yeah, I don't know if there are many Treehouse of Horrors I'd skip, but this one I felt just didn't have anything to offer.